All right, step 4, we're almost there. We're gonna take our lining piece and our fashion fabric piece and we're gonna join them together, putting our right sides together, boop, and we're gonna pin all the way around, leaving a small opening on the side. So I'm gonna start pinning right here about 2 inches down, and I'm gonna pin all the way around, boop, boop, making sure to check, zoop, 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 zoop. And then I'm gonna leave about 3 inches open on the side here. And I'm gonna mark that by putting 2 pins in my seam allowance here, so that when I stitch and I'm in the groove, I remember I see 2 pins and I remember to stop. So I'm gonna take this over to the sewing machine. And I'm gonna start stitching, remembering to back stitch. Every time I get to a corner, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the wheel so that my needle is in the fabric. I'm gonna lift up my presser foot, pivot, and then I'm gonna follow, put my presser foot back down, and pivot as I go. Once I get over that nose curve, that's the hardest part. Then I pivot. And one more seam, and I'm coming up to my 2 pins. Back stitch. And I've got about 3 inches of opening right here. Next thing I'm gonna do, if I tried to turn this right side out right now, I'd have a ton of bulk and big old ugly corners, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna take my shears, I'm gonna clip into my seam allowance, and I'm gonna trim it down everywhere except my opening to about 1/8 of an inch again. And I'm turning, following that curve. And when I get to the corners, I'm gonna cut a little triangle shape so I can get really close to that corner. And there's not a lot of bulk in there to let out. So again, trim up. Nice slanted diagonal at that corner. Next, I'm gonna turn this right side out, pulling out my fashion fabric. And I'm gonna take this over to the iron, take a pin, kind of pull out these corners a little bit. Nothing says crisp professional garment better than nice 90-degree corners. And then there's only one more step to go. You're almost there. This is a great last chance to check the fit. Make sure it's doing everything that you want it to do. And I'm gonna go iron this and we'll be back here to top stitch in just a minute.